The Wire follows the drug trade of Baltimore, Maryland, those who perpetrate it and are part of the game, and those out to put a stop to it. One of the show's most iconic characters is Avon Barksdale, played by Wood Harris. Avon is one of the most powerful drug kingpins of Baltimore, full of swagger, running his organization with his second-in-command, Stringer Bell, who insulates Avon from the authorities. Stringer is known to the police. He is actively sought after by the likes of McNulty. But Avon? For a long time, he is on the record as a white middle-aged man, so little is known of him. On the streets, however, there is nothing elusive about Avon, whose reputation and word, as Brother Mozone put it, got him to where he was at the top. Everyone knows Avon Barksdale. He fought for the towers where the Barksdales now reign supreme, and his drug empire covers all of West Baltimore. Over the course of the first 3 seasons, Avon and Stringer differ in their philosophies to approaching the game. Stringer wants to evolve and treat it like a business, being a proponent of the New Day Co-op, an alliance between rival drug dealers where diplomacy is favoured over violence. Avon, however, is just a gangster, I suppose. He's old school, he fights for his corners, he fights for his street rep, his territory. He's a charismatic and natural leader who commands respect. The question as to who was right, Stringer or Avon, is a video for another day, so be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with future videos. But though he is stuck in his ways, Avon understands what Stringer cannot, that the game cannot be changed. It is what it is, and you either thrive within it or don't. He appears stubborn in Season 3 initially when he returns from prison and starts dropping bodies when things became so quiet without him. But Avon's goals are different to Stringer's. For him, it isn't so much about the money as it is the rep. And he knows characters like Marlowe cannot be reasoned with, cannot be civilized, that he is simply not a beast that will be content with having just one piece of the pie. Avon knows his enemy. He understands what even his fellow OG Proposition Joe could not about Marlowe. And had Avon not been betrayed by Stringer in Season 3, where Stringer gives Bunny Colvin information, as the Barksdales had the drop on Marlowe, you would think they would have won the war. One of the most understated but remarkable traits of Avon is that he knows himself. He knows what he is and what he is good at. He is content. He understands that chasing success in the legitimate business world, playing those away games as he put it to Stringer, would lead to disaster, as that is a game he simply has no experience nor authority in. What a great line. What is your mentality when you are a sports person playing an away game? You are not surrounded by your home crowd. You are in unfamiliar territory, surrounded by people you don't know, out of your element, surrounded by strangers in hostile and strange land. Why even bother when you're at the top within your own game where you can play to your strengths? Avon also is firm in the idea of respecting the code of the streets, which is something that separates him from the next generation, people like Marlowe. Stringer comes off as forward-thinking and progressive, with Avon stuck in the past, but it is Stringer who, for example, violates the Sunday truce, with Avon having to reprimand him. Avon understands the reality of the game they are in. That isn't to say he is some noble Robin Hood type individual. He is ruthless and will drop bodies as much as the next guy, and it was he who wanted Brandon put on display as a message to those who mess with him. But, especially when compared to Marlowe, he is shown to have a code and an element of integrity. Most of the murders Avon sanctions are people who are already in the game. He allows Cutty to retire immediately upon asking, at a time when the Barksdales needed soldiers. He gives Cutty money to set up a boxing gym for kids in the neighborhood. Can you imagine Marlowe doing something like this? A man who had a security guard killed for simply talking back? Rather, if that scene between the security guard and Marlowe took place with Avon instead, Avon would have probably respected the guard for standing up for himself, much like how he scolds the ref in the Season 1 basketball game for not being a man and standing up for himself. Avon has humanity in him and seems to be genuinely loved by his crew, who throw themselves at lengthy jail sentences, life in prison even, to keep him out. If the sentimental and family-loving Prop Joe is on one end of the spectrum, with his business-orientated mind and favouring of diplomacy and product over violence and territory, and Marlowe is on the other side, with his insecure obsession with his name and being the king, then Avon is slap bang in the middle, ruthless but worthy of respect, the perfect kingpin, the original gangster.